Hello everyone, welcome back to You Can Automate. In this session, we are going to learn about intercept service. What is that intercept service and how it can be integrated with WebdriverIO. Say for example, if you are working on this particular website here and whatever the actions which I do here, there will be a API calls will be happening in the background. So how do we check that is if you just right click on this and go to inspect here and go to network tabs. Say for example, I'm doing some action here, say mobile, right? So whenever I do enter mobile keyword in this search bar, I'll be getting a list of suggestions. Say for example, this is one of the suggestion API and it will tell us what are the other results which are available when I enter a mobile. There will be n number of suggestions API getting called, right? So if you see this, lot of, let's take one of them. And in real-time applications, what will be happening is consider this as one of the e-commerce website, and when we'll be automating it or when we'll be testing it, sometimes the API may not respond or API may not give a desired result. Sometimes API will give a 500 error result, 400 error results, right? So as a QA or as a tester, we should understand, we should try to catch those kind of errors, and in the runtime during the execution, what all things are happening, which error codes it is giving, and how our API is behaving when the real-time action is happening on the website. We should be able to capture it, right? Capture is nothing but capturing the network calls. Network calls is nothing but the different API getting called here, right? So for example, this API has this is a request, and this has it has got some this status code, and it is of get type, right? And it has response headers, right? And if you go to response here, it is having some response, okay? And in WebDriver IO, by using the intercept service, we can capture all the network calls, whatever is happening, right? So let's look at this. What is that intercept service? Okay, all the Selenium and WebDriver are used for end-to-end and especially use UI testing. You might want to access the HTTP request done by your client code. Example, when you don't have immediate UI feedback like in metrics or tracking calls. With the WebDriver IO intercept service, you can intercept AJAX HTTP calls initiated by some user action. So for example, when I click on button, what calls happening, right? If I want to understand those things and if I want to validate those things during the runtime, I can go for intercept service. Okay. So there is one catch though, you cannot intercept HTTP calls that are initiated on page load. So for example, this intercept service can be used when only to capture all the actions which can happen after the page load. During the page load, whatever is happening that we cannot capture, right? Before page load, what all things are there that we cannot capture by using a intercept service. But after page load, what actions you do on it, that those things can be captured by using the intercept service, right? There are some steps to configure it, right? What we need to do here is first we need to use this particular command intercept wdio intercept service to install this service in our framework. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to my terminal here. This is a Visual Studio Code, right? I'm going here and I'm just pasting that command save dev. Okay, this should install the service in my framework and in my system. After this installation, you can go to package.json and you can check here wdio intercept service should get installed in your system. This particular dependency should be appearing in your package.json. Okay, after that you need to do a little bit of changes in the services. So services in wdio configuration.js, there will be something called services. You need to add this intercept in that service. Let me copy this and go to my framework here, wdio configuration.js, and if you see here we have a services, we have standalone Selenium standalone service we have already added in the previous section. Just I need to add, let me add that within a single quote here, cool, and a comma. So my setup is done. Now I can start using this. How do I start using this? Here it is given like usage with WebdriverIO standalone. We are not looking for this. So let's have a look on this. What are the things we need to do when we are using a command line interface, right? If you see here, whenever we launch a particular URL, we need to set the interceptor, browser.set-interceptor. This we need to call it. After that, we can do all the things one by one. Okay, let's create one test case here. Under the E2E test, I'm just going to create a new file here, interceptor test.js. Okay, here let me add a describe method here. Describe, right, interceptor test demo. You can give any name here, and it is a async method. Let me add a async keyword here and followed by arrow mark, then flower bracket, right? Then I should add a it block here. What is that it block says? It should be able to capture suggestions, or let me say search suggestions, specifically suggestions. Okay, and then async and arrow mark and flower bracket. First I should launch my website, browser.url, and let me put URL here, and the URL is nothing but amazon.in, correct? So once this is done, I need to set the interceptor, right? What I need to do here, await browser dot set up interceptor. This I need to do it as a first step. Okay, after that I need to do some action and then capture the network logs, right? What is that action is, I'm going to enter a keyword mobile in this search box, and then I'll be capturing my suggestions. So how do I enter a keyword in this? Just very simple, just inspect this search box and write the locator for this. So I'm taking here id is an attribute and this is a value, so I'm trying to add a locator for this id. Okay, cool. Await dollar, and within the bracket provide single quote here, and as it is id and I'm using a css locator here, add a hash symbol. Then I need to enter a value. To enter a value in the WebdriverIO, we need to use a method called set value, correct? Set value, and inside this I'm going to pass a keyword called mobile, right? So now I have entered a keyword, I'll be getting a list of suggestions, right? So before getting suggestions, I want to wait for some seconds so that I'll get network calls will be loaded. Pause, say for example some 3 seconds. 3 seconds I want to wait. After that, what I need to do first thing is I want to validate whether my request, whatever the request I am sending here, right, that is giving a 200 or not. That will be my basic validation, right? What I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy the part of this API, not the whole API, because only I need to check whether the suggestion API is getting loaded or not. It can be any request. So let me copy this only part of this request. Then what I need to do here, let me write this. What is that assertion I'm going to add? Assertion, okay, await browser dot expect request, right? And here I need to mention what is that request, what is the type of that request. Here it is a get request, post request, or that whatever it is. So right now we have a get request, that's why I'm mentioning as a get request. Okay, and after that let me provide a comma here, and inside that I need to put a API. Okay, you can put the entire API or you can put only part of it, that is a parameters. Okay, let me put this part of it, that is API 2017 suggestions, right? And after that what I'm expecting is that is a 200. So this is my first assertion. This should get passed. That means that whatever the API, whatever the action I'm doing here, for that API call should happen, and that should return me a 200 response. Right? This is my first validation. Okay. Let me run this particular test case here. Let me clear my command prompt. npx wdio run wdio conf.js, and I want to run a specific test case. That's why I'm putting a spec here, dot slash test slash e2e test slash interceptor test. Okay, this should launch the browser and it should open the amazon.in, and it should enter the keyword that is mobile into search box. Then it should check for this API is giving 200 response or not. So this is the first session it is going to do, and it is going to access the network calls from the website. Okay, it is opening the amazon.in. Now it should enter a keyword mobiles into it. So this test case got passed. That means that whatever the API which we are looking for, that is giving a 200 request, right? Now if I want to access this, say for example I want to access the response, right? I want to validate some response from it. Say for example this suggestion is not having anything, and let me look for, yeah, this API is giving me some suggestions, right? Suggestions, it is giving some keyword, right? And if you look at this, it should have some value m2. So it is, as I'm entering a mobile, it is showing me some m2 mobile, right? Like that I have a list of API calls. I want to pick one of the API calls. I want to get the response out of that. So how do I do that is what I need to do here. So let me write a comment here, get the response from network request. So during the UI automation, I might have a requirement to fetch the network calls on different UI actions which I'll be doing on the UI, right? I can go for this option. What is that is browser. Then here I need to mention get request, right? And I need to mention what is the type of that request. It is a get type. And here after the comma I need to mention what is the API which I am looking for. So let me go to this header part and copy this part of the API. So this is the API which I need to capture, right? And then just put a semicolon and close it. Okay. Now whatever the request, this what this will do is whatever the request it is happening for this particular API, it will get the entire request. After getting it, I want to save it in one of the variable, right? Let me save it in one of the variable, that is search suggestions, right? This is my search suggestions. Okay, now I want to fetch the response, right? Let me print the entire object first, then we will see. Search suggestion request. Let me print the entire suggestions, then we will, how we can extract only specific value from it, right? Search suggestions. Yeah, let me run this so that we will see how it is printing the search suggestion and how we can access what is the structure of it, right? Let me run this particular test case here. So here it has opened the Chrome browser, and uh, inside it has to click on the search bar. Now it has to enter some keyword into search bar. What is that keyword which we have given in the test is that is a mobile. It has to enter a mobile keyword into it, and it has to find all the suggestions. So we are trying to print that. Okay, why it is giving a request pending here is we have forgot to provide this await statement here. Okay, let me provide await statement here. That's why it is printing like that as pending. Let me run this test again. So this got executed. Now if you see the results, right, say for example this is one of the API, and it is having a URL, it is having a method, it is having a body is nothing because it is a GET request. And then if you see the response has a response headers, body and status code, right? Now if I want to extract this one by one, say for example now I want to extract one of the request, and I want to extract inner response, and I want to extract a body also, right? I can do that also. So how do I do that? Say for example console.log, I will say that response headers, right? Response headers, then search suggestions, and out of this search suggestions, say for example I want to pick some third one, third request, and in this I want to first get the response, right? This is a way of hierarchy. Response, this is a hierarchy. So first I will say response, then inside response I can say headers, right? This is headers I want to print. Okay, this is a response headers, and then if I want to print a response body, then I will say that response body, right? And after this comma, search suggestions, see third one, dot, first I should say response, then inside response I have a body, right? Then I should say body, right? This is a way I will print my response header and my response body. Okay, let me comment this. mm, yeah, I don't want to print all the uh, suggestions. I want to print only the third one, right, which I wanted. Let me clear this again and run it again. So it is entering keyword and it is printing response. So let's see the response what we are getting here. If you see here, response header it got printed separately, and response body it got printed separately. Inside response we have a suggestions, right? Suggestions, whenever I do enter a mobile keyword, I may get results of different suggestions. Say for example now I'm getting a mobile, next time also have a mobile, right? And now if you see mobile under 10,000, like that I will be having a different suggestions, right? So like that, for any keyword there is a n number of API call happens. Out of that we are picking one of them, and we are trying to go in deeper and trying to access each and every value, say header, body. Now if I want to print suggestions only, assume that I am only interested in search suggestions, what it is giving, right? So I should say that search suggestions, uh, search suggestions, comma, search suggestions dot, that is the suggestions of the three, search suggestions of three, inside that response, inside that body, not body, yeah, inside body I have a suggestions, right? Yeah, right, inside body I have a suggestion, so I have given that keyword. Let me clear this and run this again. So now if you come to this, if you come to the console, let's see where is our suggestions. Yeah, if you see search suggestions only got extracted from the response and it got printed here. So how many number of suggestions we have? We have more than 7 to 8 suggestions, right? If you look at this, each suggestion is different. Here it is mobile under 15,000, 8,000, right? So we have a mobile holder for car. All the suggestions, whatever we have it for mobile keyword, it got printed. So like this, you can access the network calls from the browser and you can validate against it, and you can have a assertion also inside suggestions if you want to take only value, right? That also you can do, and you can do assertions on that, right? So to summarize what we have done, first of all, we have installed this intercept service and we got that in a package.json. After that, we went to wdio configuration.js. There we have added one of the service called intercept, right? Then after that, we have written this test case. The test case is like, first I'm launching the website. After that, I'm setting up the interceptor. This is kind of initializing interceptor so that we can track the network calls. After that, I am getting the request. So expect request, I'm looking for this particular request and with the status code as 200. Then if I want to access the request response and the body of it, I need to do a browser.get request followed by what request you are looking for, that you need to provide, and followed by you can access the content separately like response header, response body, search suggestions, right? And it can change based on requirement, right? This is all about these sessions accessing the network calls. Do try out this and do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.